Introducing Nature and Good Health 100. Health products for your overall health. Why? Because we keep it 100. Go to www.natureandgoodhealth100.com for all your nutritional and body strengthening needs. And for those who suffer from diabetes type 1 and type 2, we have one of the world's strongest diabetic supplements around. It helps with your heart, blood toxicity, sugar spikes, neuropathy pain, addresses hair loss, skin issues, bloating, and weight problems associated with diabetes. Not to mention important vitamins and minerals diabetics need for proper kidney and body functions. We also have products that help strengthen your defense immune system, fight against airborne viral diseases and infections, and more. Don't be a victim of these viral plagues like COVID and other diseases. Strengthen your immune system today. We got what you need because we keep it 100. Go to www.natureandgoodhealth100.com. You'll be happy that you did. Or call us at Know the Truth Prophecies, Part 2. The Jesuits invented Jesus to deceive us. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, men and women of the diaspora, also called the saints in the Bible. May the Most High Yah bless you. Before I told you the letter J was only 500 years old, and Christ the Messiah walked the earth over 2,000 years ago. So no way could the Messiah's name be Jesus, because Jesus is an English name, and the Messiah was a Hebrew Israelite who spoke Hebrew to the people, the Israelites. The Israelites spoke a form of Paleo-Hebrew, which means the parents would give their children Hebrew names, which means Joseph and Mary would have gave their children Hebrew names. They would have gave Jesus a Hebrew name. The Jesuits invented the letter J, and we will discuss that now. It makes sense for Joseph and Mary to give their children Hebrew names because they spoke Paleo-Hebrew language. And Joseph and Mary's name is English, so they too would have Hebrew names. See how Joseph and Mary's name is in English? Their names were in Hebrew before it was translated. It doesn't make sense for Joseph and Mary to give Christ a Roman's name because the Romans invaded Jerusalem. It doesn't make sense for Joseph and Mary to give Christ Greek names either because the Greeks were known for their heathenistic ways, their men-on-men sex, the heathen way of living, and Joseph and Mary did not live like that. So they couldn't have gave Christ the name Jesus. And they couldn't have gave him Jesus, that name, because the letter J wasn't invented until 1632. And there isn't no letter J or the sound of J in the Paleo-Hebrew language at that time. When Christ, the Messiah, walked the earth, so where did the letter J come from? Who made up this letter J? Was it made up when Christ walked the earth 2,000 years ago? It wasn't even pronounced at that time. It came from the Jesuits of the Roman Catholic Church, who are guilty of enslaving the blacks, the tribe of Judah, and the 12 tribes of Jacob, the same tribe that our Messiah Christ came out of, the tribe of Judah. In fact, Joseph and Mary, their names were Paleo Hebrew, changed later by those who infiltrated our holy books, holy scrolls, using the term, quote unquote, we're translating the Bible. We're translating the Bible to their heathenistic ways, for their agenda. They were changing names to fit their narrative, their reasoning for slavery. In fact, the letter J wasn't in Hebrew language at that time. See how we Hebrew Israelites have been deceived by colonists to fit their agenda so that we couldn't identify who we are as God's people of Yah. God has the real name. His name is Yah or Yahweh. And other people have different forms of saying Yah. But we, the saints, are God's people. But in the Bible it says, in the end times, Yah, God, will begin to wake his people up. He will wake the people up, the saints, and let them know they have been deceived. Read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 10 through 16. Read Romans chapter 13, verses 10 through 14. Read Revelations chapter 3, verses 2 through 3. Read John chapter 14, verse 6. Now back to the name Jesus and the letter J. Now the letter J was not in existence before 1524. So it wasn't around when the Messiah, Christ, was walking around on the earth. The letter J was created by a Venetian Renaissance humanist of the secret society and a diplomat. His name was GIOGIO TRISSINO, born July 8th, 1478. He was called Giorgio TRISSINO. He was in action up until December 8th, 1550, as a diplomat. He looks at the vocabulary and sees the letter I can be changed into a new letter, creating the letter J by putting a hook on the end of the letter I, creating a new alphabet letter J, and introducing that new letter into the English alphabet, or the Italian alphabet. However you put it, it was not a Hebrew letter, which was used by the Jesuits. The letter J was used by the Jesuits, the Society of the Jesus Clan. Yes, people understand, brothers and sisters. The Jesuits had a society of the Jesus Clan that helped in the movement of slavery. Yes, by Pope Nicholas V and the Jesuits, they, the heathens, were given permission by Nicholas V to enslave the 12 tribes of Jacob scattered around the world. All put together by Nicholas V and the Jesuits, all in the Roman Catholic churches. For example, let's give you proof. For example, in Georgetown University, a prominent Jesuit institution in the United States, has historical connection to the slave trade. In 1838, facing financial difficulties, the university sold 272 enslaved individuals to plantations in the South. The sale was conducted under the leadership of Jesuit priests. That's right. It was conducted under the leadership of Jesuit priests. These heathens carried such horrible sins for monetary gains. These evil ones who called themselves the Jesus Society, your so-called Christians, buying and selling slaves in the 18th and 19th century was common in many churches at that time because the permission of Nicholas the Pope, yes, Nicholas the Pope, the fifth Pope, ordained it. Nicholas the Pope, the fifth, ordained slavery. Still want to be a phony Christian? Many churches did not oppose this system. All these Catholic and Jesuit societies and other churches need to come forward for their atrocity in gaining wealth for enslaving the children of the 12 tribes of Jacob that they call us Negroes and blacks today. These churches need to apologize for their involvement in slavery and advocate for paying reparations to the descendants of the victims. Reparations are to be given to us, the children who are the victims enslaved by these Catholic societies, these churches. They call themselves Christians, and they need to pay reparations. They need to give us our 40 acres and a mule. They need to do it today, in this time, for they've sat on and squatted on it long enough. Talk is cheap. We want actions. We want actions. We want to be compensated for the involvement of these churches and these institutions enslaving our ancestors. And with that note, may the Most High Yah bless you, brothers and sisters. Stay strong, ladies and gentlemen of the 12 tribes of Jacob, and stay focused. May the Most High bless you always. Shalom.